I'm so sorry to hear that you've had a traumatic incident recently. It can be really hard. One of the things that can make it harder is having people tell us, you're lucky you didn't have any physical injuries, or you're lucky that this and that didn't happen to you. But for many people who have been through similar events, we know that you're not lucky. This is really horrid. And some of the impacts of those are not as clearly seen as a broken leg. Perhaps they're injuries to the core of who you are. Maybe they're injuries to your mental health. Maybe they're injuries to how you see the world. And these sort of injuries are not obvious to other people, but they're there. Or they could be there. So one of the things that you may notice is that you're affected in ways you didn't expect. Maybe it's that you have a real hard time concentrating. Maybe you can't remember things anymore. This is a common response after a traumatic event. That even doing the shopping or doing a process at work that we'd normally do very easily can be really challenging. Other things you may notice is that you may have a lot of trouble sleeping. You may wake really easily. You may wake with a feeling of terror. You may have intrusive images that come into your mind with no apparent reason. And they make your body feel like you're going through it all again. You may find that you're really emotional, that you're crying at the smallest thing, that you're angry at the smallest thing with a rage that you haven't felt before. Again, these are all common responses after a traumatic event. And in the first month or so after the event, it's a sign that your nervous system is acting in a healthy way. Your nervous system has registered that you had an experience that put your life in danger. And it needs to be reassured that that is not something that's going to happen a lot more. So your body is looking out for you. You may find that you're what we call hypervigilant. You're looking around for danger like a little meerkat, afraid to do things that you normally wouldn't have thought about doing a second time. So it can leave us feeling very lost and vulnerable to be in this place and not quite knowing what's happening and wondering, are we okay? So I suppose the first thing to know is that those symptoms and experiences that I described are pretty normal responses after a traumatic event. The second thing to know is that those responses should ease over the next few weeks. They might not go away completely, but they should ease. And if you haven't, maybe it'd be a good time to chat to your GP if they don't clear up. One of the things that I think is really important in this first few weeks after a traumatic event is that you practice being kind to yourself. This means that when you can't do something at work, maybe you can't go to work, of not having that, letting that inner voice that says, you're no good, you should be able to get through this, win. It's letting the voice that says, you've been through a traumatic event. It's going to take some time to heal. You need to lower your expectations for a time. You need to do things that fill your soul. You need to do things that help you to feel safe. The other thing that can be really helpful is to think through your friends and family and see if you can identify at least one compassionate, kind person in your network. It might be your spouse, but it might not. It might be a family member, or it might not. And think about someone who knows what it's like to suffer. And I know that sounds a bit morbid, but often the people that we need are the ones that understand. And they're often people who have suffered trauma or loss themselves. They know what it's like to feel so lost and afraid. Identify that person or persons and maybe think about how you can connect with them and ask them to be there for you. Let them know that you need a little extra help in the next few weeks, and ask them, would it be okay if I gave you a call every now and then, or could you call me? You don't have to do this alone, but it's helpful to think through the people in your network. Some people won't understand. They will say things like, you should be over this by now, or you're lucky you didn't end up in a wheelchair, or it could have been a lot worse, or you can't let this beat you. These sort of comments. But what you're feeling at the moment is really valid. And finding someone who understands that, who can say, I hear what you're saying, I know it's really tough. What can I do? Do you want me to come and sit by you and we'll watch a movie together? Do you want me just to listen? Do you want me just to sit with you? Want to go for a walk out in nature? Would you like to come around to my place and sit on the porch and have a cup of tea? So really bringing your focus in the next few weeks into what you can do to help you feel safe again. What you can do to fill up your bucket. Although our body is telling us we're in danger still, it's often the case that we're in no more danger now than what we were before the incident, that it feels much more dangerous. It's going to take some time for your body to catch up on that fact. So, remembering all the things our body does for us each day, let's give it the compassion and grace that it deserves by giving it time to recover. I really hope that the next few weeks are okay for you, that you find caring and compassionate people in your life, and that you find the things that nurture your soul. And you not only recover from this incident, but that you, in time, not right now, but in time, maybe some other things will grow from it as well. I wish you all the best. Take care.